Alrighty, we have been waiting for this. So DC Studios just dropped the Clayface teaser trailer and a bunch of posters yesterday and today. We also got the official synopsis, brand new photos, and like I said, the first official poster of Clayface. And if you don't know, this is definitely going the horror movie route. I'm very, very excited for psychological descent into identity, obsession, transformation, and based on everything that we're seeing so far, Clayface might end up being one of the most disturbing films that the DCU has had so far. So let's get into the synopsis before we get into the trailer. So the first official synopsis starts here. It says Clayface tells the terrifying descent into hell of a promising Hollywood actor who has become a monster driven by revenge, an intense story that explores the loss of identity and humanity, that ravages of toxic love, and the dark side of scientific ambition. And that right there definitely sets the tone. It's not about crime, not about superheroes. This is about obsession, about losing yourself, and about chasing perfection until it destroys you. And that phrase, descent into hell, is very intentional because everything that we've seen from the teaser and these new images points to a slow psychological breakdown. So the film is following Matt Hagen, played by Tom Rhys-Harris, a rising Hollywood actor whose life is shattered after a brutal attack leaves his face horribly disfigured. And in Hollywood, your face is definitely your currency, your identity, your career, and even your future. So he does what desperate people do. He takes the risk, and he undergoes a experimental procedure to restore his appearance, but instead of fixing him, of course, it turns him into Clayface. Something very unstable and something very monstrous. Now, we see that the movie is definitely leaning very hard into body horror, and that's not speculation, pretty much confirmed. James Gunn himself even described it as a horror movie that just happens to exist in the DC universe. And that is exactly what this looks like. That's exactly what I've been wanting. I've been wanting Marvel to do something similar as well because you do have characters like that. I like that this universe feels unique and people are telling their own stories in this universe while also having someone like a Superman right next door. So we got a lot of new photos to dive into as well. These images tell us a lot more about the story, the tone, and the themes, and some of them are a lot more unsettling than the trailer itself. So first we see the Gotham Medical and Regenerative Medicine. This image is extremely important because we see a medical magazine, or at least research publication, discussing the new phase of regenerative medicine, the future of organ transplants, novel therapies, and this confirms that mass transformation is not going to be something maybe supernatural. It's definitely more scientific, and this is definitely science that's going wrong, and that fits very perfectly with the synopsis mentioning the dark side of scientific ambition. This is likely a technology that's going to create him for sure. We also got a newspaper headline stating that he was brutally attacked. We don't know who does this, and we know that this is definitely what's inciting the incident. This is the moment that definitely destroys his life, and the way the image is framed behind a fence, torn, damaged, visually mirrors his condition, broken, exposed, and definitely trapped within his own body. We also have seen some Matt Hagen on magazine cover images where his face is melting and warping, distorting, and definitely showing you this is more identity horror because he's losing himself literally. Now, before we get into the trailer, once again, we got an official poster, which is pretty much nightmare fuel. We see a close-up profile of Matt's face, and it's melting downward like clay. His skin stretching. Identity is definitely dissolving here, and we see the darkness surrounding him, making this feel very isolated, showing that he's lonely and even hopeless. But it's definitely, ironically, not a villain poster. This is more of a tragedy, which is, I'm sure, what they're going for. Now, onto the trailer. We see some Gotham establishments, a wide shot of the city skyline and a waterfront, industrial buildings, gray skies, factories in the distance. This version of Gotham looks very grounded, realistic, and also bleak. Now, I know people are having those theories about who's the Batman in this universe, but this is the DCU Batman, and they're not doing any Robert Pattinson things, this and that, whatever. This is still a really cool Gotham that we're getting. We're also seeing a heavy Gotham police presence. Very early in the footage, we see a Gotham police car speeding through a street, confirming the setting is for sure in Gotham City, even though Batman isn't shown at all, and I actually doubt if he will even show up. You don't know. We don't know. There could be something there. I doubt it, though. We also get a carnival and amusement scene. One of the most visually striking moments in the trailer is the red-lit amusement entrance. You got bright neon lights, a creepy clown face, figures standing in the shadows, and this shot screams psychological horror, and it feels very symbolic. We also see a shot of Matt running through the alley, with a bunch of steam rising, streetlights glowing, and his silhouette moving fast. And we also see a silhouette of him with his iconic fist that he's making, like his little spike. I really like how this is done very subtly. There's no explosions, no spectacles, just something that kind of feels terrifying, feels very grounded in a way. Now, the emotional centerpiece of this trailer is his bandaged face. We see a lot of blood visible, one eye exposed, and this is where we start seeing the damage of his face. We don't know what it's going to fully look like before his transformation, but we're definitely getting an idea. He looks like he's scared, very helpless, and very desperate. I also want to point out, too, now, he could be looking at somebody in this trailer, but it looks like nobody's even there with him, so I don't know if that's going to get more into the themes of loneliness. We also next see a bathroom transformation scene where I think that's what they saw at CinemaCon last week, where we see that his skin is shifting and melting and reforming. Looks very gross, very body horror-esque. And yeah, this is just everything I was just noticing in the Clayface trailer. And as far as the posters and stuff like that, I'm very, very excited. The writer of this is very, very brilliant, and he was wanting to make this film based on the animated episode of Clayface, and we already know that this is looking like this is going to be a really, really great release on October 23rd. They moved the date originally from September 11th, I believe, of this year. I don't think it was supposed to release earlier than that, like last year or anything like that, but this looks really, really good. This is exactly what I've been wanting from, like I said, the MCU. Even though I haven't been an MCU hater like most people are, I really just want that variety, because just like our own world, there's a lot of variety, there's a lot of difference out there. There's, a lot of different things going on as far as, where you live and stuff like that. And so I think it's very believable to think that, hey, Gotham City got some scary villains out there. Meanwhile, Superman, he's just smiling, he's playing with crypto or whatever. And so I really like that James Gunn has given the opportunity for everything, at least so far, feeling different. Supergirl feels very different. Lanterns feels very different. And this feels very different. So, yeah, with that, like, subscribe for more, and comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this trailer. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What are you expecting to see? And with that, I'll catch you guys on the next one.